Hi, thanks for joining us at the Nasco-based Speed Shop for our series of FJ Holden JIVE talking. In the last clip I was saying that Holden made a couple of the same item for different means. And what I was really talking about is a classic example of, in our accessories that we've been chatting about, an anti-glare mask. Now, as you can see, this is a mirror, and there was a mask or a lens that could go over the top of it if, for at night time, for instance, somebody behind you had really bright lights or their high beam on. It'd be a case of you'd be able to flip the Perspex lens down and it would lessen the brightness of the lights that were on there. Now, they did it a couple of different ways. There was this lens, and really it's a case of a little arrangement here of some metal that's attached to the lens itself, and this clips onto the mirror. And then, so you've got a top clip and a bottom clip that goes on the mirror, and it's a case of when there is a bright light, well, you're just really moving the lens down so that it actually blocks the light that's coming into your mirror and then into your eyes and hurting your eyes. So by using that anti-glare mask, that was a help for the driver. Now, the other similar thing was the glare-proof rearview mirror. So, you know, you can buy these now. These are great. I had one in my 1954 Ute that I restored in about 1989. I've got it in 1981, but I had one of these, and it was a matter of a very similar concept, but there's a little button at the bottom here, and it's a matter of pushing the bottom, and it's the same with modern cars that it is today. But here we are in, you know, gee whiz, in my case, 1954, and now the 1956 model that I've got, just pushing the button, and the glare-proof mirror helps the driver. So from my perspective, they're two really great little accessories, and in my case, well, which one do I choose? Which one do I put on my car? So in my case, I've got a green car, it's Ocean Mist Green, and I'm adding red accessories to it just for, you know, accents here and there, to match the red on the scratch plates, for instance. And some of the other bits in the red theme, for my way of thinking, would be, you know, these little peaks that go over the headlights. You know, they're just a very light red Perspex, and it's a matter of, you know, peeling away so that you've got the chrome underneath here, well, in this case stainless steel, and cleaning that up. But this is what will, you know, be able to sit over the headlights, adds a little bit of colour, but also quite functional for, you know, the beam and so on. But that's just a little accessory that I've got for my green car, with trying to add a bit of colour around the vehicle. So we've talked about the mirrors, and we've talked about the headlight peaks. One of the other Nasco accessories that I really like was what's called the bird. So it's a Holden hood mascot, or Holden hood ornament they talk about, and in this case it's cast and chromed. Now this is one that my son's got for me. Lachlan has got to it with the polish, the auto sole, and he's given it a good going over, just trying to make it as, in this case, to see what a good original one will come up like. Now it's got some of the bubbles on it, but really, for all intents and purposes, it's perfectly fine to go on the car and be able to be used. Now, the nice thing is, for the standard FJ, the FJ215, so they wouldn't have come out with one. You would see this edition from the Air Ride, so that was the 48215, the FX, from the 1953 version where they came out with FJ suspension, the Air Ride suspension, hence the name. And then they started introducing this bonnet mascot, the bird, at that time. Prior to that, you would see the bomb sight, which is a circle with a, you know, that type of shape. It looks like a bomb going through the bomb sight. And in other instances, you might see a lion, and sometimes you also see a kangaroo. A lot of talk, a lot of conjecture about whether that was right or wrong or whatever. That's none of my business. All I'm interested in is the bird. So from, I've had those on my cars way back when had a swan at one stage on there, but that was obviously off something else, but that was just what I liked at the time. So I used the bird on mine. Lachlan's got it prepared for our car, so it can go on whenever we're good and ready. Now, some of the other things that I like on my cars, and we have it in Queensland, it's called a Q plate, which is the number plate from the day. Now, the number plate frames from the day were very much tubular. So it's just a little stainless tubular arrangement whereby these went around the actual number plate themselves, and then they were clamped in. So this was the clamp. These are telescopic, so they expand and contract. Now, the one I had originally for my ute, unfortunately, I kept it and I had it on another car, and it was stolen and I never got it back. So fortunately for me, my very good friend, the recently late Colin Pryor, the former president of the FJ Holden Club of Queensland, was able to get me one of these, and I will be eternally grateful to my mate Collie Cockroach, because that will go on the back of my car, and it'll be worn with pride. So I'm really happy that I've got the number plate frame for it. So that's, in my case, terrific. Very happy with that. Now, when you've got a car, it's really important to have power source inside. So the cigarette lighter is always great as a central point for power. So I've got that. But in a FJ Holden, you think of Nasco. Well, remember, Nasco didn't make anything. So you would see these from Presslight. They would come out in 6 or 12 volt configuration. And, this was the correct one with the little rings on it. But one of the other things that I saw, this would be mounted on either on the dash, along the lines of near your Holden badge or your radio above the choke in that vicinity. Early editions are halfway between the glove box button and the window, or they could be over when you're driving the car with your steering wheel. The driver could have them near the headlight knob. So there was 3 different places that you could have them when they were drilled on, or there would be like a 90-degree angle bracket, and they could actually be screwed underneath the dash, and you would just all you would do is see the cigarette lighter itself. One of the other things that I liked from Presslight themselves was because the special is all chrome, and like for instance, I put a cigarette lighter in my ute, but a ute and a panel van are all white accessories, the same as the standard, whereas the special's black. The special would, as standard equipment, have a chrome cigarette lighter. However, this is one of the ones that I liked. So I'm going to use this to complement all the white window winders and knobs on my panel wagon. It comes with white, so I'm just going to give it this new old stock one, just so that everything's white. So some of the other things you could get on your car is mud flaps, and with Nasco and with FJ Holdens, you get rears and fronts. I've got a full set for mine, but they look not only flash, but they're a functional thing. And I've got some new old stock rubber for this particular pairing. FJ is nice and flat here, but this is a good Holden set, and I like the fact that this is so pronounced with the Nasco diamond on there. Looks really good, but having a set of mud flaps on a car really makes it look flash, particularly if you've got the fronts. Now don't forget, on the fronts they curve in a little bit because they're trying to keep mud from flicking out to the back of the car. They're trying to actually get mud to flick into the mud flap, so the front mud flaps kick in a little bit they're just flat rubber. There's nothing really flash about them, but they are very functional. So that brings us to the end of this clip. We'll have another clip shortly with a list of a few other accessories on there, things that we can talk about with FJ Holdens, just to make your motoring a little bit more enjoyable, functionally more safe, and hope you enjoy your car. This was Jules Knight from Nasco Bay Speed Shop, giving you the series on FJ Holden Jive Talking. Hope you enjoyed it.